Kyaman Bhai Shah, Mehdi again, and it's the spooky time of year. Yes, Halloween. It's the month of ghosts, demons, nightmares, and candy. Oh, that delicious candy. I am so sorry, I shouldn't have violated your ears, but hey, it's the month of October, it's the spooky time of year, like I just said, and if you look at the bottom right corner of my screen, you will see that it just hit 11 p.m. It's the prime time for reading some spooky material, so I thought why not look into my own heritage to find some spooky stories. As you guys probably know, I'm Bangladeshi, I'm Bangla Bhat Khai, and we Bangladeshi people actually have a lot of good horror stories and horror characters, or I don't know what you would call them. And back when I was a kid, I was infatuated with these stories. I remember reading Thakurmar Jhuli and short horror stories all the time. It was back when I actually used to read some books. And I also remember my mom reading those horror stories to me sometimes. And my mom actually read them as bedtime stories, which was kind of messed up. But as I started growing up and got introduced to the internet, I fell into the trap of creepypastas, and my threshold of good horror stories just grew and grew, and nowadays I just always find myself disappointed with the recent horror movies and horror media in general. It's really not for me anymore. So, since those old stories really gripped my interest and back then I was scared of them, I even remember sustaining enough trauma to be scared of the dark, but that still did not end my fascination with Bangla horror stories. So I thought since now I'm a grown up, I'm a big boy now, doing big things like staying up past my bedtime, let's look into some ghosts in the Bengali culture. So I just really didn't have anything to do, so I just searched up Bangla urban legend and this Wikipedia page came up. Its title is Ghosts in Bengali Culture. I haven't read this yet, I've only seen the beginning part of it, so I thought maybe you guys would like to hear it too. It's very educational. It might actually be very educational for you, who knows? Also, one problem with this video is I don't exactly know how to edit it. There's not enough reference material from books or images on the internet that I can put up here as reference, so I would suggest just put this video playing in the background so you just hear my voice and we'll go through this whole reading session together. Imagine it like a podcast, except this is no podcast and I'm only talking to myself in my own room with nobody here to accompany me. It's a pretty slow night. Whatever. Okay, so enough of my depression aside, let's just get into this article, shall we? So the page starts with, ghosts are an important part of folklore, integral to the socio-cultural fabric of the geographical and ethno-linguistic region of Bengal, which today consists of the independent nation of Bangladesh and the Indian states of West Bengal. Fairy tales, both old and new, often use the concept of ghosts. The common word for ghosts in Bengali is bhut or bhut. This word has an alternative meaning, past, in Bengali, which is bhuto. Also, the word pret is also used in Bengali to mean ghost. In Bengal, ghosts are believed to be the spirit after death of an unsatisfied human being or a soul of a person who dies in an unnatural or abnormal circumstances, like murder, suicide, or accident. Even it is believed that other animals and creatures can also be turned into ghosts after their death. Interesting. Well, this is mostly stuff that I already know. That is the textbook definition of a bhut, which is ghost in Bangladeshi cultures. The Bengali Hindu community celebrates Bhut Choturdashi, which normally occurs on the 14th day of Krishna Paksha. These spellings are totally wrong, by the way. At the night before the Kali Puja, on this night Bengalis light 14 earthen lamps or Chodda Pradip at their homes to appease the spirits of their past 14 generations of ancestors. Why only 14? I mean, is it something that's increased gradually? Like, if there's another generation, will it be 15 Pradeeps? Ponero Pradeep? Or is it just always 14? Then what happens to the 15th generation that you're not praying for anymore? That's weird. It is believed that in the night before Kali Puja, the spirits of these ancestors descend upon earth and these lamps help them find their loving homes. You know what this sounds like? This sounds a lot like the Day of the Dead that the Mexicans celebrate. Now, I have very limited knowledge of this festival. The only knowledge that I have about it is from the movie Coco, which is kind of a moronic thing to say, but it does sound like that, just putting your past generations to rest or something like that. It sounds like that. Another popular belief is that Chamunda, along with 14 other ghostly forms, ward off the evil spirits from the house as 14 earthen lamps are lit at different entrances and dark corners of the rooms. Also, it is customary to consume a dish of 14 types of leafy vegetable, choddo shak, during Bhut Chaturdashi, so that evil spirits cannot possess the body. Okay, now let's get into the meat of the discussion. Types of ghosts and other supernatural entities. Starting off with the Shakchunni, the classic. Petni or Shakchunni are basically female ghosts who died unmarried or have some unsatisfied desires. Kinky. The word Shakchunni comes from the Sanskrit word Shankachurni. It is a ghost of a married woman who usually wears a special kind of traditional bangles made of shell. Damuri. Tantric practices and black magic have been very popular in the rural Bengal in the past for many centuries. Some rural people from Bengal, obsessed with the occult, used to travel to Kamrup Kamakya in Assam in order to learn tantric ways of black magic. Many sadhu, tantric, aghori, kapalik, and kabiraj devoted their lives in pursuit of occult practices. Such people are said to have the power to invoke lower-level demonic ghostly entities such as Hakini, Shakini, same as Shakchunni, and Dakini. Tantrics use these demonic spirits for soothsaying purposes and also for causing harm to people. Nice. When superstitious rural people wanted to cause harm to an enemy, they went to the tantrics to seek their help. A common practice was called Banmara. Really? Banmara? A ritual by which the tantrics use demonic forces to kill a person. In such cases, the victim is said to die vomiting blood up their throat. I don't know, man. That sounds more like food poisoning than having a demon possess your soul. I'm actually thinking, maybe there's a scam behind it. What if the Damori supposedly places a curse on someone and then just, slips some dhutra in their food? I mean, wouldn't that be the same thing? Or like, put a little bit of poison in their food and then watch them puke their guts out. Yeah, that doesn't sound very tantric to me, if we're being honest. Beshobhut. I thought this was Besha. That word means something totally different. The word Besho comes from the word Bash, which means bamboo in Bengali. Beshobhuts are ghosts that live in bamboo gardens. I've actually heard people have experiences with these so-called Beshobhuts. The village where my parents were born, I went there a few times and I've heard many stories from people who saw, demonic figures or saw Shakchunni looking fellas just sitting on top of a bamboo shoot. Like a cluster of bamboo shoots, and then just looking at them. And these kinds of stories usually just happen at the full moon or something. And I've heard those interactions mainly because the people who saw them actually were alive and did not have total interconnection. They ran the hell out of there out of fear, because people really do believe ghosts like this exist. So that's why they can tell the tale. But I honestly think it's just, your eyes playing the better of you. But these people actually have interactions with these on a very regular basis. Okay, here it is. People from rural Bengal believe that harmful ghosts live in bamboo gardens and one should not walk past these areas after dusk. It is said that when a bamboo leans or lays in the ground, no one should cross it over and should go around it. That is because when someone makes an attempt to cross the bamboo is pulled back straight up by an unseen force and the person can die as a result. It is also reported that a gusty wind blows inside the bamboo garden while the weather is calm on the outside. Now, I'm not sure about the frickin' bamboo trebuchet thing. I think that's a myth. But, I'm pretty sure science can explain this. This story has never unnerved me, even though I've heard it so many times. Just because everyone is supposed to have seen it, but no one has actually interacted with one of these things. That's why it's always okay, whatever. Pechapechi, an unusual form of ghost. The Pechapechi take the form of an owl and haunt the forests of Bengal. It follows helpless travelers through the woods until they're completely alone, and then it strikes. Unlike other ghosts, the Pechapechi actually consumes its victims, feeding on their body in an almost vampiric way. Delicious. Okay, this is one of them that I haven't actually heard before. I have like heard the connection of stories where they say like it's a dark, spooky night, everywhere is calm, but then you hear from the distance the sound of a pacha, the sound of an owl, hoo, and then usually something spooky happens. But I'm not sure like I've heard the owl being the culprit in one of these situations, but whatever. Cool thing to know. Mechobut. Ah, this is another popular one. This is a kind of ghost who like to eat fish. The word mecho comes from mach, that means fish in Bengali, so the person who eats mach is mecho. Mechobut usually lives near to the village ponds or lakes which are full of fish. These kinds of ghosts urges the late night fisherman or a lone person who carries fish with them to give them their fish by saying in a nasal tone, Mach diya ja. Give me the fish. If the person refuses to leave the fish for the Mechobut, it threatens to harm them. Sometimes they steal fish from kitchens in village households or from the boats of fishermen. Very cool. I know this has always been an entertaining ghost for me. Like the Mechobut, even the concept of it is kind of comedic. You know, it's not a thing that actually kills humans. It likes to eat fish, and it can't fish. So if it can't fish, then how the hell is it gonna eat fish? I mean, come on. I mean, if I actually had an interaction with this guy, I would probably like be friends with him, like give him some fish, come by from time to time, just feed him some fish, and then, have a nice chatter sitting by the river. I think that would be very entertaining. Mamdabut. According to the beliefs of Bengali Hindu community, these are believed to be the ghosts of Muslims. That's xenophobic. Ghosts of such kind are believed to kill people by twisting their necks. Why does it have to be the ghosts of Muslims? I mean, I'm a Muslim. So what do you call a Hindu ghost? This actually makes no sense to me. Well, that's a nice slice of Islamophobia taking hold. Gechobut. It's a kind of ghost that lives in trees. The word Gecho comes from the word Gach, which means tree in Bengali. Yeah, pretty simple description. I've heard this story in the same vein as the Beshobhut, the guy who stands on top of the bamboo shoots. It's kind of the same thing. Alea, or Atoshibhut. Atoshi, or marsh ghost light, is the name given to an unexplained strange light phenomena occurring over the marshes as observed by Bengalis, especially the fishermen of West Bengal and Bangladesh. The marsh light, or will-o'-the-wisp, often look like a flying, glowing orb of fire. These confuse the fishermen, as it's said to lure them out and then drown them into the very depths of water, never to rise again. Like Nishi, their voice is also said to be irresistible. Local communities in the region believe that these are the ghosts of fishermen who died fishing. The fishermen of Sundarban Delta region, especially the Kashti and Manna fishermen communities, strongly believe these and always do an Atoshitaron ritual before they go out to fishing. This is the textbook definition of an urban legend, and also the cycle of misery. And these ghosts supposedly kill fishermen, so it's like a whole twisted cycle. You die, and then you become an Atoshibut, and then you kill someone else. It's a vicious cycle. But it also sounds like something that's never happened before, and it's just an urban legend. I mean, the fact that people always do an Atoshitaron ritual before they go out to fishing, that obviously means that it's a myth that's been passed down from generations, and since everyone does this ritual, that means that this has somewhat solidified itself in the fisherman culture of Bangladesh. Beghoput. The word Beghoput comes from the Bengali word Bag, meaning tiger. Beghoput are ghosts of the people who were killed or eaten by the tigers in Sundarbans, which is known to be the Royal Bengal Tiger Sanctuary of the Bengal region. Now this sounds like a story that someone pulled out of their ass. It really does. The villagers living in this area believe in these kinds of ghosts. These entities are said to frighten people who enters the jungle in search of honey or woods and try to bring them to face tigers. Now, if I were to go into the Sundarban at night, you know what I would be more terrified of than a Beghoput? The fucking bug. I would be more terrified of the Royal Bengal tiger that's roaming around in the woods than someone who died from a tiger attack and then got reincarnated into a ghost that can mimic the cries of a tiger. This story sounds pants on head retarded. It sounds like something you would say to a child to stop them from going out at night. But I'm not sure you can like go out to clubbing in the Sundarbans or something like. But other than that, it's just stupid. This is a stupid story. Shotkata or Kadkata, Kondhokata. I have no idea how to pronounce this. Whatever. Kondhokata is a headless ghost. These are believed to be the spirit of those of people who died by having their heads cut off by train accident or by some other way. This kind of ghost always searches for their missing heads and pleads others to help them find it. Sometimes they attack the humans and make them slaves to search for their lost heads. Again, a ghost that I would really like to help out. You know, if I came across one of them, I would just say to them, dude, let's go find it together. You wouldn't even have to make me a slave. Just, I want a friend, okay? It's 11:30. I'm sitting in my room, doing nothing. I should be going to bed because I have nothing to do. My life sucks. And I would really like a friend. And you know what? I don't care you're a Kondukata. I don't care you ain't got a head. I don't need a head to make a friend. Mr. Kondukata, if you're watching this video right now, please leave me a call, okay? Call me. Maybe we'll collab for my next video, next Halloween. Kanabhulo. This is a ghost which hypnotizes a person and takes them to some unknown location. The victim, instead of going into his destination, goes to another place which is silent and eerie. After the victim loses his sense, these types of ghosts strike at night. Lone travelers or a person separated from his group become the victim of such ghosts. So Kanabhulo means, in Bangla, cross-eyed and forgetful. It's a ghost that makes you forgetful of your destination and also cross-eyed because you have no idea where you're going and then you end up at some quiet, eerie place somewhere and have no idea how you got there. Actually, this sounds a lot less like a ghost and more like a heavy night of drinking. I could legit imagine, like, some guy goes to his house at, like, 3 a.m. in the morning and their wife's like, where were you the whole night? What happened to you? And the guy's like, he's had a heavy night of drinking out with the boys and he basically like got knocked out somewhere and got all his belongings stolen or some shit. And then he comes back. He's not gonna tell his wife that he was out drinking, so he's gonna like, oh no, you don't understand, the Kanabhulu attacked me. I had no idea where I was. Yeah, I could generally see this like being an excuse if I'm living at the village. I'm gonna go out at night and then say like, oh, the Kanabhulo got me, I'm sorry. That's hilarious. Okay. Prapti. The word prapti is a Sanskrit one meaning to get something. These are said to be ghosts of girls who had more than one lover and suffered from indecision. Ooh, thought shaming, are we? These girls therefore committed suicide, thus getting freedom from all the conflict. What? It is said that after a girl dies, her lovers also commit suicide to be with her, or the prapti haunts them and drives them to insanity until they do so. But the irony is after the lovers die, they still do not get the girl, who escapes after taking her revenge. Therefore, the ghosts of the lovers get stuck forever searching for their love. So, ghosts of girls who had more than one lover suffer from indecision, and that indecision made them kill themselves. That doesn't make any sense. And number two, getting freedom from all the conflict. It is said that after the girl dies, her lover is also committing suicide. Blah, blah, blah. It also sounds like something you would, tell your daughter that, don't love more than one man. I mean, even in like the old days, the act of love is also something that's kind of set on the down low, because in my village, like back in the old days, loving someone was strictly forbidden for young people. And if a girl and a boy were to love each other and they're like still young, they would actually be kicked out of their homes and like kicked out of the village, to say so. So maybe that's something. Like maybe they have more than one lover, but they can never admit to liking one lover more, or like admit to their family that they love this person. Maybe that's the thing. But it sounds more like a PSA to, just do not love and do not have more than one lover. Yeah, we've all had our fair share of cheating bitches, so I think I'll give this ghost a pass. It's educational. It teaches morality. And also, if you're ever in love and it happens to go wrong, please do not take your own life. It's worthless. They'll probably cry for a day or two and then they're gonna forget. So just don't do it. Daini, another classic. Daini means witch. Pretty self-explanatory. Daini is not actually a soul or spirit, rather is a living being. Usually in the villages of Bengal, old suspicious women who know mumbo jumbo and other witchcrafts or black magic are considered as Daini, so a textbook witch. It is believed that the Daini kidnaps children, kills them, and sucks their blood to survive 100 years. Oh. I have no idea where this actually came from. Maybe it's also like another PSA for kids to, not go out at night or not talk to strangers. Actually, most of these sound like PSAs of what not to do. And to keep people in check, why not give them the fear of demons and ghosts and people who want to suck your blood to keep everyone in check? That's actually a pretty good tactic. Brahmadatta. These are one of the most popular kind of ghosts in Bengal who are believed to be benevolent. It is believed to be the ghost of the holy Brahman. So this is the example of a Hindu ghost. Okay. Usually they appear wearing a traditional dhuti, Bengali dress for men, and the holy thread on their body. They are very kind and helpful to human being as depicted in many Bengali stories, folklores, and movies. So the Brahmadatta is a caring, kind individual, but the Muslim Datta literally twists your neck and kills you. Really though, fucking a racist. I never knew that ghosts can be racist, but holy shit. Boba, not boba. This is no tea, fellas. This is the Bengali version of the old hag syndrome, which is believed to be caused by a supernatural entity called boba, meaning dumb or unable to speak. Boba attacks a person by strangling him when the person sleeps in a supine position, sleep on back. However, the scientific explanation is believed to be sleep paralysis. While a person is having sleep paralysis, he hallucinates in his REM sleep while the brain is functioning but the body is asleep. This actually causes the person to completely unable to move or speak and results to hallucinate weird entities such as an old hag, a witch-like demonic being. In Bangladesh, the phenomenon is called Bobai Dhora, meaning struck by boba. Now, I have actually heard about this, and this already gives you the scientific definition of it, what a boba is. People in the rural parts of our country, they don't really know about sleep paralysis. I mean, even the concept of the scientific nature of dreams and the REM sleep, these concepts do not exist there. So the sleep paralysis demon is usually referred as boba because they make you go boba. Shekolburi or Jolpichash. These are believed to dwell in the rivers, ponds, and lakes. They are called by different names in different localities of Bengal. Young women who either committed suicide by drowning due to an unhappy marriage, they might have been jilted by their lovers or abused and harassed by their much older husbands, or who were violently drowned against their will, especially after becoming pregnant with unwanted children, must live out their designated time on earth and come back as such beings. Her main purpose is, however, to lure young men and take them into the depths of said waterways, where she would entangle their feet with her long hair and submerge them. Their hair is very long and always wet, and their eyes are without any iris. Like many fairies, they sometimes do take human lovers. Unfortunately, most of such unions end tragically for the human. God damn it. I almost had a crush. As is usually the case, they extract a promise from her mortal lover, and when such promise is broken, she reveals herself to be the supernatural creature she is, often taking the life of the human in the process. Their general habitat is in water bodies, even though they roam around the land or wilderness around the water and are also seen sitting over trees at the dead of night. The concept of such supernatural beings is similar to the Rusalka from the Slavic mythology. That is wicked. So, this has a whole lore behind it. I like this. I really like this story. So these are women who have been abused, tortured, mentally and physically, and they committed suicide or they were murdered. And they must live out their designated time on earth and come back as such beings like the Jolpichash. But the interesting part also is these entities can interact with humans and then live out relationships with them. Hey man, I mean, I'm not that desperate yet, but this is what I'll do. I'll go to the Kontokata. I'll make friends with them and said, hey, yo, you got any Jolpichasses around? Some hot babes who have been wronged? Because I'm the nice guy from your dreams, baby. But still, I'm not that desperate yet. But that threshold is very, very small. I might cross it soon. So Next October, we're gonna find ourselves a Shekolburi. I don't know. Nishi. The Nishi or night spirit lures its victim to a secluded area by calling to the person with the voice of a loved one. The Nishi only strikes at night, and once the victim responds to the call of Nishi, she or he becomes hypnotized, follows the voice, and are never seen again. So it is unknown what happens to them. Some tantrics are said to nurture and conjure the Nishi in order to use them to harm someone out of spite or revenge. The voice of Nishi means night. Nishi means night. Is known as Nishirdak, call of the night spirit. Bengali age superstition suggests that sleepwalking phenomenon is also caused by Nishi. According to folklore, the Nishi cannot call out more than twice, so no one should answer a voice at night until being called at least 3 times. Wow. Yeah, now we're getting to the good stuff, really. I don't know if I've ever heard the call of a Nishi. Why do I feel like I've actually heard the call of a Nishi? I mean, have you ever had this phenomenon where, you're just sitting somewhere or doing your own thing, all of a sudden you hear your name being called from the back of your head, and then you look back and you try to find out where the calling came from, but then no one's there. Or no one actually called you. Like, this has happened to me a few times, actually, like, even in this room. Like, I've heard my parents call me or someone call me. But then when I actually go to them and then ask them, hey, did you call me? No, I didn't call you. And also the sleepwalking phenomenon that's connected with the Nishi. Yeah, it sounds a lot like the boba. As in, like, the scientific explanation of it. We know about the scientific explanation, but they don't. People who live in the rural areas don't. So this could very well be the Dak of Nishi. And also, the Nishi cannot call out more than twice. I've not heard it call out more than once. So, it's better to be safe than sorry. If someone's outside, just tell them to call your name 3 times. If they call it 3 times, then just go to them. And then you might find that it's a Jolpichash who said it 3 times because they're not a Nishi and they don't live by those same rules. God, it's all messed up, isn't it? Gudrabura. Even though these are worshipped as demigods by the Shantal community, an indigenous tribe in Bengal, many Shantal families are said to nurture and look after these small dwarf-like 2 to 3 feet tall creatures who look like small children. The word Gudro means small and Bonga means demigod. Shantals believe that these beings are keepers of hidden treasures on earth and can make them rich. A leprechaun? There's a leprechaun in Bangladesh? These beings are believed to steal newborn infants from people's houses. Okay, not so necroman. Okay. Although I don't know the exact lore behind the leprechaun, but it sounds a lot like that. Gudrabongas are believed to live in clans. They are similar to the concept of dwarves or goblins. That's really funny. Did some Irish guy come all the way from Ireland to rural Bangladesh to spread the rumor of the leprechaun, but the people could not pronounce the leprechaun, so they just said Gudrabonga. Maybe that's the case, I have no idea. Dhankudra. Experiences with such entities are found in the myths of Bengal, specifically South Bengal. They usually are short in height. It is a belief that they stay in somebody's house and they help the house owner to make money. They are believed to bring luck. They are possibly similar to domovois of Russian folklores. I have never heard of the Dhankudra. I don't know if the word kudra is associated with kudrat. Kudrat actually does mean somewhat like luck. When people say Allah kudrate, that means by the grace of Allah or something like that. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I've never heard of this before. Rakhosh. Another classic. Rakhosh are apostles. The reason I'm saying apostle instead of demons, it's because I've been reading a lot of Berserk. Sorry about that. A race of beings often depicted with thick pointed fangs, sharp claws, and superhuman strength and magical abilities. They feature in Hindu epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Many fairy tales of Bengal also speak of this race, typically as vicious beings who feed on humans and large animals. A common threatening call of the Rakhosh in traditional Bengal folklores is this couplet: Hao Mao Kao, Manusher Gondo Pao. The first 3.5 nonsensical words suggesting open of the mouth and an intention to devour. And the second phrase means, I smell humans. This is comparable to Fee Fi Fo, the catchphrase associated with giants in some folklore. See, there's some similarities here. I've read about this in one of my textbooks from college, actually. Hao Mao Kao and Fee Fi Fo are the same thing. They're just demon lingo. Kokkosh. These are smaller monstrous beings, similar to the Rakkosh but not found in Hindu myths. They feature in Lakmal Nikmal, the story of Thakurmar Jhuli. These are like trolls. They're trolls. Nothing much to say there. Daitya. They have human appearance but of prodigious size with extraordinary strength. Same as giants. Daitya, I've seen Daitya associated with Aladdin et Chirag, which is, the... What did Will Smith play in Aladdin? The genie, yes. Daityas are genies. Or they could be massive individuals, like absolute units. They can also be called Daitya-like. Like giants. It's basically giants. It's either giants or genies. Pichash. Adomkhor. Adomkhor. That is a badass name, my dude. Pichash are flesh-eating demonic entities who mainly feed from cadavers. They like darkness and traditionally depict to haunt cremation grounds and graveyards. They have the power to assume different forms at will and may also become invisible. Sometimes they possess human beings and alter their thoughts, and the victims are afflicted with various maladies and abnormalities like insanity. The female version of Pichash is called Pichashini. Their genders, which is described to have a hideous and terrible appearance. However, she sometimes appears in the devious disguise of a youthful, beautiful maiden to lure young men. She drains their blood, semen, and virility. Wow. That took a nice jump. Like they drink your blood and snap your neck. They drink your semen. What is this, succubi? Oh shit, it's the succubus, isn't it? Pichashiri are succubi. Oh my god, that is great. Can't wait to rule 34 out of that shit. She dwells and prowls in places associated with death and filth. They're similar to the Western concept of ghouls. No, it's the succubi. I can't believe I found it. Oh my god. That is amazing. Betal. Betal are defined as spirits inhabiting cadavers and charnel grounds. What's a charnel ground? These evil spirits may use corpses as vehicles for movement, as they no longer decay while so inhabited. But a Betal may also leave the corpse at will. Zombies. So did the concept of zombies originate in a natural way in Bangladesh, or were they also a Western influence? I've heard many stories about this. Corpses coming back to life, very disfigured, bones showing, flesh is falling off, and they kill people and they eat people supposedly. So it sounds a lot like zombies. So zombies, except they're spiritual instead of having a virus. Jokko or Jok. A supernatural warrior type entity who are the guardians and protectors of hidden treasures or wealth on earth. They are usually considered to be benevolent and said to bestow fertility and wealth upon their devotees. There's a commonly used Bengali idiom, Jokkerdhon, literally meaning Jokko's wealth, which actually implies protecting a beloved person or safeguarding precious wealth. Jok actually means leech. Those blood-sucking slugs that, suck blood. You find them near the riverside. I actually never heard of this before. I mean, I've heard of Jok that whole definition. And I also heard the idiom Jokkerdhon. It didn't make that much sense to me back then, but now it does actually. This is interesting. So Jokko is a guardian and protector of hidden treasures and wealth on earth that can be only countered by the Gudrobonga because they apparently show you the way to the hidden treasures on earth. Actually, that could be a scam. The Gudrobonga just comes in, tells the parents, hey, I heard some treasures over there. And then they actually go to there and the Jokko kills them and then the Gudrobonga steals the newborn infants. Sounds like a foolproof scam to me. This is a conspiracy. Someone call it very interesting. I shall contact the parents and sue the Gudrobonga immediately. They might be able to protect those treasures with their lives, but hey, they can't fight against the lawsuit now, can they? I'm coming for you, you sons of bitches. Jinn or Djinn. This is the biggest part of this entire page. The Muslim community of Bengal strongly believe that any supernatural, ghostly, demonic, paranormal occurrence, phenomenon, and manifestation is the work of a jinn. Jinns can both be benevolent or malevolent. Malevolent jinns or demons can be really evil and can cause haunting in human residences, empty houses, toilets, lakes, graveyards, morgues, hospitals, and in the wilderness. Some people are also believed to conjure jinns, which is bullshit, and use them to fulfill their evil purposes. When a jinn is in the vicinity, a person might experience a strange perfume or flowery smell or terrible odor of rotten flesh or burning odor, even though no possible source of those smell or odor can be found. Jinns have no physical body of their own and are creatures from an unseen dimension or realm. Jinns are shapeshifters and often take the form of a human or animal, commonly snake, dog, cat, crow, bull. When jinn attaches itself to a living person, people call it jinn or demonic possession. Jinns are exorcised by pious people like Imam or Maulana by reciting chapters from the Quran. Professional village exorcists or witch doctors called Kabiraji or Ojha commands or forces the jinn to leave the possessed person by exorcism rituals, which includes the use of talisman or tabiz, which is like these small blessed cylinder-like thingies that you wear on your body, or by conjuring a good jinn to counteract the forces of a possessing evil jinn. A literal UFC fight inside a room of a demon and a good jinn. Like, hell yeah, I'd pay to see that. Like, screw you, the exorcist. What do you have? The power of Christ compels you and the girl just pukes on you? Hell no. In Bangladesh, when you exorcise someone, there's literally a fight going on. You literally have boxing matches between good jinns and bad jinns. It's amazing. Jinns have the ability to predict the future, can read people's thoughts, have extraordinary strength and powers. A person possessed by a jinn can also demonstrate such abilities. However, jinns are dim-witted, foolhardy, aggressive, angry, and deceive humans with their lies. There are also good and wise jinns who are believed to be pious and safe or help humans from dangerous, fatal situations. Jinns are believed to eat raw fish, meat, bones, and are fond of traditional Bengali sweets. The sweet salespeople in Bangladesh strongly affirm the idea that jinns come to the sweet shops at late night in human form to buy sweets. Jinns live in clans, and every clan is headed by a king jinn. Man, this is so wholesome. Wow. I have a smile on my face. That's great. Aww. Yeah, I would like to be friends with a jinn now. Holy shit. I'll go and sit at a sweet shop all night just for a jinn to come along. Man, I like chat them up or something. Maybe they don't want to chat, but hey, like buy them a bag of sweets. They'll probably be happy and not possess my body because I like my body, even though I'm a fat piece of shit. But hey, I would like to drive it myself instead of, an actual demon to possess it and then have another jinn come and have a UFC fight inside my body. I would not like that. So, yeah, of course, jinn, if I ever meet you on the street late at night near a sweet shop, I'm buying you sweets, okay? Love you. Keep up the good work. And yeah, wow. That was an experience. This was actually a lot more fun than I originally expected. I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. Like, most of it is bullshit, of course, like it's supposed to be. But wow, how long have I been recording for? It's been over an hour since I've started recording. This is going to be a pain to edit. It's going to be a pain to like cut out all the parts. But yeah. I learned a lot today. And I hope you did too. So, have a spooktacular Halloween. I know we don't celebrate Halloween in Bangladesh. But hey, even though you don't celebrate Halloween, just grab some friends, grab some family, watch a good horror movie, like have some popcorn, have some sweets for the sake of the jinns, and just have a good time, okay? Spend time with your family. I wish I could eat the sweets too, but I'm still a fat piece of shit and I need to work on a diet. So, that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.